Well, here we are. We're getting ready to pull this out of the garage. I wanted y'all to see this, but a couple things. Just wrapped up the other video, got the fuel tank in, and let me get behind the camera and let you in front of the camera. If you notice, this thing's sitting a little prouder in the back, and got the air shocks on. Didn't video that. It was putting the air shocks on was not hard. Getting the old ones off was. And here's what the old ones look like. They are just burnt slap up, and it was tough. It was tough getting those top bolts out, but it's done nonetheless. So here's what we're gonna do. Well, let's face the facts here, folks. It's a Monday night. We're leaving Saturday morning for power tour. We've got to drive from Northwest Arkansas to Atlanta, Georgia, and the bottom line is time and money has just run out, so we are not going to be able to put the 4-barrel intake on. We're going with the rebuilt 2-barrel. We're going with the stock exhaust. That's just the bottom line. You know, the budget and time. I don't have the money to take it to the shop and have an intake put on, nor would I want to do that. But we do have gauges and a tack. We got right here, we're going to get these gauges installed. I need to be able to watch everything. I checked the water, the fluids, the oil, the power steering fluid. We're going to run this thing down the road and put some gas on it. First of all, we're going to run it outside and we're going to wash it off real quick, get all this dirt and dust off it. So I'm going to end right there, and I'll get set up, and you can watch me pull it out. There she blows. We're gonna get her washed off. we're gonna get this, I'm gonna get the camera moved, we're gonna jump this thing, go get some gas. All right, folks, maiden voyage. Well, not the maiden voyage, but since we've had in the garage. Hey, there's Sammy, my kitty. Hi, Sammy, you old freaking feral cat. Anyway, here we go. Take it easy on this gravel road. Hopefully I got, ooh yeah, baby. Make sure we got enough, come on now. There we go, bigger on up. May have to adjust the timing a little bit. The, haven't really put under load with the car being rebuilt. The fuel mixture may have to work on that a little bit, but we're just cruising right along. This thing's a land yacht. I think it's rear gears are like a 292. Alright. So I'm gonna get this thing, I tell you what I'm gonna do before I pull out on the highway. Not, this isn't the highway, but I'm gonna, when I get up here to this other stop sign, I'm gonna shut this thing off for a minute because I want to have all hands available. Oh yeah, here we go, rock and roll. Oh, we're good. Yeah, I think we're good. Ooh, a little backfire. What are we doing? 55? Brakes, got brakes. Brakes were in good shape. I filled up the master cylinder. Oh, let's see what we got here. This is a big old highway here. You won't be messing around here. But we're gonna give her a whirl. Let's see what gears we got. Whoa, sorry about that. Oh yeah, this thing's like a spider on glass. A little squirrely, but hey, what do you expect? I'm gonna take it nice and easy till we get to the gas station. Ooh, a little lightning. I don't want a chance running out of gas here. I think this little gas station up here is probably closed. We'll give her a whirl here. I don't want to get on it and dog it, run out of gas. Yep, they're closed. Let's get on down the road here a couple miles. Alright, I'm going to turn this off, pay attention to the road, and we'll be back after we get some gas. Okay, it's getting dark. I got to get home, but guess where I'm at? Yay! It's where my son works, just for the record. But hey, I put in, if you can see the gas gauge, it's reading half. I've got a 24-gallon tank, and I put in 12 gallons just to see where it was at. It's actually over a little bit. That's because you know what, I'm sitting on a hill. So I'm actually sitting on a hill. So let me pull out here and get leveled out a little bit. See if this levels out a little bit. Yep. She's coming down a little bit. Anyway, so gauge is pretty dang accurate, so let's get out of here. Running good. We're gonna get home, and we got some charging electrical issues to look at, and tell you what, the spinning wheel is the bomb. All right, I'm gonna get us home. Got a lot of traffic. I'm gonna take it easy and be careful. See y'all. Okay, back in the garage. Had a good trip home. Absolutely no issues with the engine, but I did start hearing a clicking noise on the way home. Kind of worried me. You know how that clicking, windy, clicky noise the transmission makes when it starts going out. Had me really worried. Let me show you what was going on. So every time, now obviously the AC doesn't work right here, but every time I would hit the button in the dash, I just turn the air on and let it flow and everything, I started hearing this. Finally figured out it was this clicking noise. This thing is locking up. So I disconnected it. I'll tape those up. For now, that solves the problem. So right now, I think you guys have seen this thing doesn't charge. Let me grab the meter here. So like that battery holder I got there, yeah, worked a long time to figure that out. Anyway, let's see what we got here. So we're at 12.58. We're pushing about 12.8, 12.9 when this thing is running. That is just absolutely not going to get the job done. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So here's what I'm going to do. I have a new relay, which is right here. I'm going to go ahead, and I'm not going to bore you guys with all this. I'm going to switch this out first, and then we're going to crank up the engine and see if that makes a difference. And you know what we also might do? You notice this is an old connector. I'm going to replace it. I'll go ahead and do that as well. And this is entirely too long, but I had this one on the shelf, so I'm just going to take the death wheel and cut it, and I've got a new terminal to put on there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do those couple things, and then we will I'll get you back on here and let's see what we got. Okay, I have got this regulator changed right here, and absolutely no difference. Reading 12.8, 12.79, 12.8. So I guess now I'm going to try the ballast resistor down here. We'll give that a whirl. Okay, we're hanging high 12s right now. I put the old ballast resistor back in because this bolt right here, it's thin and this one's thick, and it really doesn't make a difference. So we take a look at this, give her a little throttle. You know what? I think we can live with that. And the other good thing is, well, let me I shouldn't be doing this while it's running, but I'm going to do it because it's late and I'm tired and I want to go to bed. But let's take a quick look at this. Here's the true test. Is the alternator working? If I remove this, the engine should keep running. That tells me the charging system is working. Engine's running. Engine is still running. That tells me the charging system is working efficiently. So I'm going to do a little research on how many volts, but I think we're good on this, and we're going to call it a night here. Thank y'all. Be blessed. See you tomorrow. Okay. Welcome back to Street Rust. I know what night. Tuesday night. We're leaving Saturday morning, and look what condition we're in. We're leaving for the power tour. 2003 Hot Rod Power Tour. Here's what I'm trying to do. First of all, what a stinking mess. Triple gauge kit, 30 bucks. You get what you pay for. So, here's what I have discovered so far. I'm going to prioritize the temperature gauge and the oil pressure gauge, which I have a little success there. But as you can see, right down in, let's see if I can get a good light. Let me get this where we can see good. Okay, right down in here is the temperature sending unit. And you can, the connector is boogered up, but the metal connectors inside the plastic connector are good. But the problem is that temp sensor is bad. I've ohmed it. We're not getting anything out of it. Plus, on top of that, how do you get this little temp sensor to fit into that big hole? I don't want to play that game I think what I'm going to do is I should be able to go buy a new temp sensor unit, a OEM one, and get it hooked up and run the temp sensor off it. So I'll have to do that tomorrow. So let's talk about oil pressure. First of all, in the Newport, you've got alternator gas, only gauges you got, okay? Unless you call this time gauge, which doesn't work. So let's crank it up, okay? I'm gonna check the timing and everything too, but I've got this rigged up. I just want to show you what I'm doing here. Show you what my oil pressure is. Now, hey, this is a cheap one, but it's better than the no oil pressure that I have. And let's see. There it is right there. Bam! So you keep an eye on that dial right there. I'll give her a little juice here. Probably hanging up around 50 psi for oil pressure, you know, for a 68 or 83, depending on how accurate this gauge is. The bottom line is we've got see now it's idle and low there. I don't like that at all. Let's get this I gotta get that idle set up. Anyway, we're gonna go with this. We're pushing a fast idle 40 plus pounds. So we're going with, I'll get that hooked up. We'll be back probably tomorrow. Try to get this temp gauge set up. Have a good night. Thanks for watching. All right, folks, it is the same night. I'm in here trying to get this oil pressure gauge wire run and get the brackets set up and everything. And unfortunately, I reached over here on the floorboard and there's moisture on the floor. And that's a huge, huge deal. That's the bad news. The good news, it looks, the core is not leaking, and I'm going to try to get in here the best I can. If you see my finger right here, you can see some green antifreeze right there at that connection. I'm going to have to get in there and do whatever I can do to get that tightened up. And that's what I'm going to be working on. Got to make that stop. All right, quick update on this heater line. First of all, if you remember back in my videos of doing this heater core, I had to do some adaptation here because this was kind of an aftermarket heater core, didn't fit perfect, and it's a dual slab, yada yada yada. You can watch the video, but here's the good news. You can see it's not leaking anymore. This was fairly loose compared to this one here, so maybe I just didn't get that tight enough. You know, that's an absolute blessing in disguise. And yeah, I'm sitting here, the garage door is half open behind me, so the exhaust didn't kill me. But anyway, that's why you test stuff. That's why you test drive. Let me shut off this engine. That's why you test drive, troubleshoot stuff. This heater line it's blowing hot air. There's no problems there now. I'm just glad that was a quick fix, because that would have potentially been a showstopper to this entire trip. We can't. The only option would have been to bypass the heater. So I think we're good. So back to the meters, back to the gauges, and not going to give up. Be blessed. Thank you. Okay, next night. Garage is an absolute mess. Welcome back. Thank you for watching. We are getting this car ready for power tour. It's just not major problems, just little problem after little problem after little problem. So here's my current dilemma. I'm gonna get you looking in the engine compartment here. So I'm trying to hook up a temperature gauge So obviously I want to be monitoring my temperature very closely. The coolant temperature sensor is right down here by my finger. I've got it disconnected, okay? That, after a little more investigation, forget about everything I said last night about ohming and things of that nature, because you don't ohm these. I talked to an old retired mechanic actually tonight after church, and that is a on-off switch, okay? So if we go look, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, and I can't really find a lot of information on this. You can see there are no dash lights on. You can see down here that the key is on the on position, just not started, so there's no lights on. So if I come over here, you got 2 wires. If you ground, I got a ground right here. If you connect one of these wires, let me just see if I can do this with one hand, like so. I believe this one is the hot. Okay, now I go back over to the dash, and voila, you can see that the hot button is on. Okay, that's the hot button. If the engine gets too hot, it causes that switch to turn on in that switch. Now, if I go over here and I ground out the other terminal here, let me get it. Come on now, work with me. There we go. There's the other one. It should show cold. So let's take a look. And it shows cold. So no problem. So I got to make a choice here, because here's my dilemma. I actually have bought a replacement. I'll open this up. A replacement coolant temperature sending unit, and that's exactly what it should look like. And the one that came with the gauge looks like that. Now, if you remember when you were a kid in school, what looks different? There's a lot of things that look different. This is big. I think this is 1/2 inch. But anyway, I know it's bigger than 1/2 inch. I can't remember what size it is. Anyway, so I got 2 choices here. What the limited information I found out, first of all, this will not send an ohm, and it will not ohm, my understanding, to the it won't work for a gauge, because it's not made for that. It's made for hot or cold. The other option is to go to an actual temperature sending unit, which has 1 post on the top, and it will ohm, because this ohms and this doesn't. Okay. So the problem is I actually had this adapter down in my shop downstairs. So this adapter is the same size here. We'd be okay there, but the problem is this is significantly bigger. What I could do, I actually found it at O'Reilly's, not AutoZone. They actually sell OEM 1-prong temperature unit. When I go tomorrow, I got to go pick up some hoses. I may see if the one they have in stock fits in here. Okay, if it does, what I do is I'm removing this down here any way you look at it. Okay, it's got to come out. I mean, either replace this sensor with the OEM or with the unit. That's the dilemma I'm in. That's the quandary I'm in. So I got to make a decision. So I got 2 choices. I get the proper adapter, I get the proper temperature sending unit, and I put it in and hook up my gauge, and then my hot-cold function is gone, the way the car was designed. And this car has been driven 55 years with that working. It doesn't work right now because that unit, I believe, is bad. Or I can put in the temperature unit sensor where I can get an accurate constant reading. So I gotta make a decision. But so here's what else I did. I have gotten I went ahead and got a 180-degree thermostat. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put a new thermostat in, and I'm going to replace the hoses. I'm going to flush the radiator. I'm going to do this tomorrow night, Thursday night. And so you know, I'm going to make sure the cooling system is 100% up to par, up to snuff. I can watch it flow through the radiator. I may even go buy a temperature gun at Harbor Freight tomorrow. And that may be my best bet. But either way, I'll make a decision. So just wanted to show you my dilemma. I've got the gauges in here, all kinds of ate up. Let me open the door so you can see a lot. All kinds of stuff going on there, but I know exactly what's going on in here. So it's absolutely not an issue. Not an issue. This is the oil temp. It's in, it's working. I got to tie up the wiring and everything. I got the volt one is sitting over there on the seat. It's ready to be hooked up. Not a problem there. It's just this temperature unit. So anyway. And the garage is a mess and I'm tired. And I got to get some sleep because it's going to be a long night tomorrow night, a long night Friday night, and then we're leaving early Saturday to hit the road. That's the plan as of right now. So anyway, just want to keep you updated with what's going on with getting the 68 across from Newport ready for the Hot Rod Power Tour. We'll be back. Okay, folks, welcome back. Welcome back to Street Rust. It's the next night. We got a lot to do. It's Thursday night. We're supposed to leave Saturday morning for Power Tour. I'm hoping it happens. I'm trying against everything I've learned in my life from a wisdom standpoint. Don't push it, don't push it. I'm pushing it. I'm pushing everything. Let me show you what's going on. All right, first of all, gauges. Working on the wiring. We'll come back to that because I've got all the wiring figured out. As far as the cooling system, what I'm going to do tonight, new thermostat, new gasket, new hoses, fast drying hard setting. This is the brown. I want to use that so I can get this thing cranked up. All right, I found a solution for the coolant temperature sending unit. Okay, so you know that I had these. I had this is the OEM one. This is not a temperature sending unit. This is the cold and the hot. Makes the lights come on the dash. We went over that. And this little baby thing here, even with this adapter I had laying around, obviously won't fit. So I'm at AutoZone today. And I'm like, crap, with a K. I'm gonna have to buy a infrared gun. It was 36 bucks, and just let the hot cold OEM thing go and just keep an eye on it. But I just real nervous about that. So I got to looking around and I looked at this water temperature sender they had right here, 36 bucks at O'Reilly's. Now, so basically this is a $36 part right here, because out of this, so I'll now have a backup. I've even got the new sending unit. This, along with the other one there, will fit in here. If I can get that screwed down in there, it fits in there perfectly. And then that will take the place of that. It will go in. I can hook up my, I'm not going to use this one because I want the one in my gauges. Actually, let me see if I got one over here. We will. I'll be using this temperature gauge because it fits into the gauge bezel. Okay, so when I come back, all this will be done. We've got to lift back the AC, take the belts off. That's going to give me an opportunity to measure some of the belts I got in the trunk. And let's go look at that real quick. And because where's the keys? There we go. All right, Chrysler key. And it's getting dark outside. I'm getting a late start. I am going to be out here late tonight, but so be it. Okay, you can't see in here, but I got all these belts. Got all these extra belts. I got all these extra belts, and then I've also got some belts hanging up over here. Some's from my lawnmower, but I got a couple extra belts over there. Figure out what I can keep as spares, what I can use. I know they're kind of beat up, but hey, if you're in a bind, they'll work. So anyway, I'm gonna get to work. You take a nap. I'll live vicariously through you. And I'm gonna get all this done. When we come back, this thing will be cranked up, all the gauges will be working, and we'll be ready to move on to the next step. Okay, so as soon as I come back. Okay, folks, it is 3:29 a.m. I'm stopping. I'm beyond disappointed, but I'm not giving up. So let me show you what's going on. Put all this back together and even ran this thing. I don't know if you can see it in there leaking, that housing. So here's the deal. Let me grab this gasket maker. The gasket that they gave me, and it was like 11 o'clock before I got to this. It's the wrong gasket. This thing's supposed to be like that, wide on the holes. So we may be delayed leaving town, but we're leaving town. We're gonna get this done. And so anyway, I'm gonna I don't know what I'm gonna do. I know I gotta go to work tomorrow. I know it's gonna be an early day. We'll get it figured out, no doubt about it. I'm just not gonna give up at this point. I will tear that back apart tomorrow night and we'll make it work. Be blessed. Hey y'all, it's Friday night. The last I reported was Thursday night. It's about 3:30 in the morning this morning, and I was just deflated. I think I showed you a picture of it. The thermostat housing was leaking, and that's because, let me show you this. I should have known. Anyway, there are two different types of housings on here. I don't have a light over here, but the one that they gave me was about that wide and obviously wouldn't fit. So I used some of the brown gasket maker and it didn't work. So I went back and got the right gasket today. And you can see the mess here. I've got a lot of that cleaned up. I just can't stand working when it's just real nasty. A little nasty is okay, it's not real nasty. So I'm gonna tear into this thing. It's Friday night, we're supposed to leave in the morning. That ain't gonna happen. It's probably gonna be more around noon or so on Saturday. It still gives us plenty of time to get from Northwest Arkansas to Atlanta. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get this knocked out and I'll come back when she's ready. I am back. It's not too late. It's probably about 10:30, 11 o'clock. We have got all of this down in here done, gooed up. I am going to let that, you're supposed to let that blue silicone set 24 hours. Ain't going to happen. Probably going to be more like 16 hours. So I've slapped it on before and ran it, but I want to give this every chance to work. Lesson learned. If you don't have the gasket, just wait. Don't try to make one. What else? Battery. The super duper modified battery hold down is in. Got the windshield wiper pump in. Did that real quick. So let's look at the interior real quick and we're going to wrap it up. So here's the interior. First of all, let's see what we got here. Ignition on. Okay, first of all, let's watch the windshield wiper. I only got it on one side because I only had one connector small enough. Come on now. Woo, there you go. There you go. So we got a little bit of windshield wiper. Let's talk gauges. Keep an eye on all these gauges here. Gonna light up like a Christmas tree when I hit this switch. Bam! That tachocycle. There it goes. We have our oil gauge. We have our voltmeter. Not too worried about that. We got our temp so I can keep an eye on it over here. Not going to start this and let you see them work right now. We can do that on the road. Just don't want to do that right now with that new gasket on there. We'll let that harden up. Oh yeah, look. And yeah, I put a little, heck, these switches are from the 80s, man. I've had them so long. Anyway, you can watch the gauges when I hit this switch. Bam. That way I didn't have to wire them to the lights and all that junk. Then watch, these are our USB plugs here. Bam. I've got, the reason I put a switch on those is so that we don't leave something plugged in all night in the car and run the battery down. So we are good to go. So let me turn this thing around. So let's talk about this trip. It's Friday night. Power tour officially starts Monday morning. We can actually register Sunday. We've got to drive about 650 miles from where we're at to Atlanta, Northwest Arkansas. Man, we're going to take this thing out in the morning and road test it one more time. Put a couple miles on it, make sure all the kinks are out. Oh, I got to put the windshield wiper back on too. I'll do that real quick before I go to bed. But I'm going to end this video here. We're going to get on the road. I'm going to try to just flood the videos as much as I can so y'all can see, not me, so you can see Hot Rod Power Tour 2023. First time for me, first time for my son, who's 17. He'll be a senior next year, and not going to have many more opportunities like this. So that's why I'm pushing so hard. It's kind of like a bucket list thing for us. So, okay. Y'all have a great evening. Be blessed. We'll see you on the road.